The world saw Michael Jackson smiling on stage. They saw the dancing, the music, and the magic. They saw a star. But behind that smile, there was also pain. Behind the loud cheers, there were quiet nights of loneliness. He became famous when he was still a child. He gave joy to millions of people, but he did not always live a normal life. How did a little boy from Indiana become the king of pop? How did he change music, dance, and pop culture forever? This is not only a story about fame. It is also a story about pressure, dreams, success, sadness, and a life unlike any other. Today, we will follow Michael Jackson's journey from child star to global legend. And we will also see the hidden struggles behind the spotlight. Stay with me until the end, because Michael Jackson's story is beautiful, powerful, and deeply emotional. Welcome to English with Ani. Today, we are going to learn English through the story of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was one of the most famous entertainers in history, and people around the world loved his voice, his dance, and his style. But his life was not only full of success. It was also full of pressure, loneliness, and very difficult moments. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958. He was born in Gary, Indiana, in the United States. He came from a big family. Michael was the 8th child in a family with 9 children. His father was Joseph Jackson, also called Joe. His mother was Catherine Jackson. Joe worked in a steel mill. It was a hard job, and he also loved music. Catherine loved music too. She liked singing and played the piano. Michael grew up in a house full of sound. Music was always around him. He had many brothers and sisters. His brothers were Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Randy. His sisters were Rebby, LaToya, and Janet. The family was large, busy, and full of energy. From a very young age, Michael loved music. He also loved dancing and performing. His father saw that his children had talent, so he pushed them to practice every day. Joe was very strict. Sometimes he was too strict, and this made childhood hard for Michael. Michael learned discipline very early. He learned that talent alone was not enough. When Michael was only 6 years old, his father saw something special in him. Michael could sing and dance with amazing energy. Joe had already started a music group with Michael's older brothers, but then he decided to make Michael the lead singer. Even though Michael was the youngest, he stood out. His voice was strong, and his stage presence was powerful. In 1964, the group became known as the Jackson 5. This was the beginning of something big. The Jackson 5 performed in clubs, talent shows, and small events. They worked hard and practiced for many hours. They traveled around Indiana and Illinois. With every show, they became better and more confident. Soon, people started to notice them. The group had talent, energy, and a special sound. In 1968, the Jackson 5 got a huge chance. They auditioned for Berry Gordy at Motown Records. Motown was a famous music company. It was known for finding and developing stars. Berry Gordy was impressed. He saw the energy of the group and Michael's special talent. The Jackson 5 signed with Motown. Their lives changed forever. In 1969, they released I Want You Back. The song became a #1 hit. Imagine Michael at only 11 years old. He could hear his voice on the radio everywhere. After that came more hit songs. ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There were all very successful. The Jackson 5 became famous in the United States and around the world. People loved their music and dance performances, and in the middle of it all was young Michael. He became the star everyone talked about. But fame was not easy. Michael did not have a normal childhood. He could not go to school like most children. He could not play freely with friends every day. Instead, he was always practicing, recording, traveling, or performing. His life was full of work. This is why the thumbnail feels true. He smiled for the world, but inside he often felt alone. Michael loved performing, but the pressure on him was very heavy. His father wanted the group to stay successful, so the boys were pushed to always be the best. Michael became very serious at a young age. He learned how to entertain, but he also carried emotional pain. Even as a child, he dreamed of something bigger. He loved the Jackson 5, but he also wanted his own voice. He admired artists like James Brown and Stevie Wonder. They inspired him deeply. By the early 1970s, Michael began thinking about a solo career. He wanted to sing songs that felt more personal. In 1971, when he was only 13, Michael released his first solo single, Got to Be There. This was an important moment. It showed the world that Michael was more than just the lead singer of the Jackson 5. He was growing into his own artist. He had his own dreams and direction. As the years passed, Michael kept growing. He wanted to create music that would be fresh, exciting, and different. Then came a major turning point. In 1979, Michael released the album Off the Wall. This album was a huge success. It mixed pop, disco, and funk in a new and exciting way. Songs like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You became big hits. People could now see Michael as a strong solo artist. He was no longer only the child star from the Jackson 5. This was also the time when he worked with producer Quincy Jones. Their partnership became very important, but Michael still wanted more. He did not want only success, he wanted greatness. In 1982, he released Thriller. This album changed music history. Thriller became the best-selling album of all time. It made Michael Jackson a global superstar. Songs like Billie Jean, Beat It, and Thriller became famous everywhere. The Thriller music video was something new. It was not just a music video. It felt like a short movie. It had dance, story, costumes, makeup, and special effects. People around the world were amazed. The zombie dance became iconic. Fans everywhere tried to copy it. Then, in 1983, Michael gave another unforgettable moment. He performed the moonwalk for the first time on television. He did it during Billie Jean on the Motown 25 special. The audience was shocked and excited. The moonwalk became one of his most famous dance moves. It became part of who he was. Michael's style also became legendary. He wore one glove, shiny jackets, white socks, black shoes, and a fedora hat. People copied his clothes and dance moves. He became more than a singer. He became a symbol. But as his fame grew, people also watched him very closely. The public noticed that his appearance was changing. Michael had a skin condition called vitiligo. This condition caused parts of his skin to lose color. To make his skin tone look even, he used makeup. This made him look paler over time. He also had plastic surgeries, including changes to his nose. He felt very self-conscious about how he looked. The media talked about his appearance all the time. Many people judged him without understanding him. This made Michael feel deeply misunderstood. It was painful to live under so much attention. During the 1980s and 1990s, Michael had many famous friends. These included Elizabeth Taylor and Diana Ross. He was often private about his personal relationships. He did not always share much with the public. In 1994, Michael married Lisa Marie Presley. She was the daughter of Elvis Presley. The marriage surprised many people. It became big news all over the world. But the marriage did not last long. They divorced in 1996. In 1996, Michael married Debbie Rowe. She had worked for his dermatologist. Together, they had 2 children. Their son was Michael Joseph Jackson Jr., often called Prince. Their daughter was Paris Michael Catherine Jackson. Michael loved his children very much. Later, in 2002, he had a 3rd child, Prince Michael Jackson II, also known as Blanket. Michael was very protective of his children. He wanted them to have love and privacy. Even with all his fame, he cared deeply about being a father. His children meant a lot to him. But in the 2000s, Michael's life became much more difficult. He faced serious accusations and intense public attention. There was a highly publicized court case. It was a painful and stressful time for him. In 2005, Michael was found not guilty on all charges. But the long case had already hurt him deeply. The media pressure was huge. Michael felt betrayed, exhausted, and emotionally damaged. After this period, he became more private. He stayed away from the public more often. Still, he never stopped loving music. Music remained at the center of his life. In 2009, Michael announced a comeback. The tour was called This Is It. Fans around the world were excited. They wanted to see him on stage again. Michael worked hard on rehearsals. He wanted the shows to be unforgettable, but then something tragic happened. On June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson died at the age of 50. He suffered a cardiac arrest at his home in Los Angeles. The news shocked the whole world. People could not believe it. The king of pop was gone. Fans cried across the world. Tributes came from every country and every generation. On July 7, 2009, a memorial service was held in Los Angeles. Many people came to honor him. One of the most emotional moments came from his daughter Paris. She spoke about how much she loved her father. Michael Jackson's death was heartbreaking, but his influence did not end. Even today, his music is still played everywhere. His songs continue to inspire new generations. His dance moves are still copied. His style is still remembered. His art is still alive. Michael changed music videos, live performance, and pop culture. He showed how music and dance could become one powerful experience. His life had both light and darkness. It had great joy, but also great pain. That is why his story touches so many people. He gave happiness to the world, even while carrying sadness in his own heart. Michael Jackson was not only a singer, he was a visionary, a performer, and a cultural icon. He became known as the King of Pop, and this title still feels right today. His story teaches us that great talent can shine brightly, but it also reminds us that fame does not remove pain. He smiled for the world. He danced for the world. He gave everything to his art. And because of that, Michael Jackson will always be remembered. His voice, his moves, and his spirit still live on. Thank you for watching English with Ani. If you learned something new, please like this video and subscribe. Write your thoughts in the comments. What great person's story do you want to learn next? Keep learning English, keep growing, and keep believing in your dreams.